welcome back to Simply Inspired Creations. Today, as you can see, I got this hot mess on my desk. I am going to be doing a few things. I'm going to try to show you a few things simply because I've seen some people asking on Facebook, and I thought maybe I could help out. I'm going to show you a few bezel techniques, one including cut wire, simply because that's what was asked. One of the questions was, could you possibly show how to do a cut wire in bezel design? So we're going to do that. I'm going to do a couple other designs using some extras that I have and making some extras to show you some technique. I haven't found much that you can't do with UV resin. I love epoxy resin, don't get me wrong, that's my go-to. But I do like playing with UV resin every now and again. Today we're going to do, I need to stop saying I'm going to work on that. We're going to do some snowflakes because of the weather, and some blue glitter and some other stuff in one, and then we're going to do some wire techniques in another. I'm also going to make a bezel. I do have this wide silver wire, and we're going to make a bezel. I'm going to show you how to do that as well and work with it. An open bezel, actually. I've done it before a few times. We're going to do some ring. I'm going to do a ring with UV resin and show you how that gets done. It's a little bit more intensive where you have to do the work, but that's okay too. I don't mind. I've been doing it that way for 3 years. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some gloves on and we're going to get started. I think the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm also going to do one with clouds in it, in a bezel, and show you that as well. I happen to have pre-made clouds. If you don't, I will tell you other ways to do it. I've done it many, including shredding the end off a Q-tip, and that works extremely well. So don't just dismiss it. I know it sounds crazy, but I've tried some crazy stuff and it's just worked out. So we're gonna get started and see where we land. I can't promise everything's gonna turn out perfectly, but we're gonna give it a shot. The first thing I'm gonna start with, the technique I'm gonna use, and I didn't realize I didn't have any over here. So we are going to use, give me just a second to grab it. So we're gonna start with making a couple extras that are gonna go into one of the bezels. I'm using Let's Resin UV resin, and I will probably finish some of them with the high viscosity Let's Resin UV resin. And I'm hoping I'm in camera because it's very hard to tell. Sometimes it changes the aspect ratio on me and I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm gonna do this. I know this is gonna seem really weird, but I'm gonna do this with just some plain clear UV resin in each pocket. I'm gonna do 3 of these little hearts because they're gonna be in a necklace. Don't drip on me too much. This is not high viscosity, as you can see, and Lisa is real good at making messes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these little plastic cups. I have plenty of them. I say I have plenty of them, but I have enough of them anyway. And we're gonna I'm gonna use Let's Resin's, it's alcohol ink, but it's their pastels. Strawberry cream, baby blue, and lavender are gonna be my colors. So we're gonna put, first of all, actually I think I'm just gonna use my mat. It's just gonna be simpler because I only need a dot of each one. I can wipe it up in a minute. There's that one. Then we're gonna take a toothpick. We're gonna dip it in it really well. Then we're just gonna kind of do like a clouding effect in here. And we're gonna do it again. I don't need it to be anything like majorly. All right, there's that one. Then I'm going to clean off the end. Let me just grab my paper towel real quick since I've stuffed it in the corner. All right, clean off the end. We're going to pull the purple and do the same thing in the other little heart. Since I don't need much of this at all to do this. All right. We're in for the first one. And the second. And then we're going to go one more time from the other side. All right, and that's where we're going to leave that. See, here's the thing with alcohol ink. When you use it in UV resin, let it sit for a few moments, because what happens is the alcohol dissipates and it'll cure. And since I'm putting this in something else, it really doesn't have to be a spectacular cure on the back. However, I've never really had a major issue with getting it to cure. So we're going to put this in to cure, and while that cures, we're going to move these out of the way. We're going to add, oops, didn't mean to hit that. That was my degasser, if you're wondering. And the next thing we're going to start, I'm just going to turn that so that the light's not directly hitting what I'm doing. We're going to do some UV resin in these cups. I've got a little bit in them. I think I just want a little teeny bit more in 2 of them. All right, that's all for that one. And a little teeny bit more. And that's all for that one. Come on. All right, and there's that. And that's where we're gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna do the blue glitter. This came from, I think, Michael's or Hobby Lobby's, one of their 6-packs, I believe. It's really, really, really super pretty. That is going to be a background along with the white. I think I need to shake this up a little better. It's been a minute. So, all right. Got that one. Just put a drop or 2. I want it kind of opaque, but not completely opaque. This is just pigment from, I can't even read that anymore. So, yeah, yeah, it doesn't even say where it's from. It's probably a find off of Temu years ago. But it's just pigment. Okay, so I've got those 2 ready to go, and then I will show you what I'm going to do from there. We're going to put this one to the side for the moment. I'm going to do one more heart. I'm going to do it with the baby blue, and then I think I'm going to, yeah, I think I might make a white background for that one as well, for that bezel. But for right this minute, this is where we're going to land it. I do have little sticky pads for bezels and stuff. I hate them. I will tell you right now, it was one of the worst investments I ever made. They're so super sticky that it just, and they're so pliable that they're like gummy. It's the weirdest thing. The ones I'm looking for, if I ever find them, will be the ones that are just sticky little, almost like this kind of stuff, but it's just a little stickier. And I do mean just a little stickier. Just want a little tacky to it so that it sticks to the bezel and things don't leak out. But the stuff that I have, I might pull one and show you. We'll see. But for now, all right, those are those. As you can see, it is cured. It's cured completely because I don't have any on my glove. That's 1. And that's 2. That one down, see, nothing on my glove. It's cured. So we're going to do a little bit more to one more. I'm gonna go with this one. I think one's just a little teeny bit bigger than the other. I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been forever since I got this mold. They kind of look the same size to me, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I'm real smart. Making messes. Now it's on my glove because I didn't even think about the fact that that was there. Tell you, when I say I make messes all the time, it's not a joke. I do. I make them all the time. All right, so this time I'm just gonna do it on my mold. We're gonna do a little blue. Oh, I don't think I opened that yet. Okay. All right, let's see about opening it. Okay, now it's open. All right, that's a little drop. When I say little, it just means a little teeny drop. All right, now grab a toothpick and do the same thing. And I want to pull out the bubble that's right there, if it'll let me. Okay, so I don't want it over there because I don't want it to cure my brush, but we're gonna go with this and get the blue going. Oh, the blue is highly pigmented. I kind of dig it. All right, so I don't think I'm gonna do that but once for the blue. All right, and then we're gonna get it in there to cure because that'll end all of those that I need. So we're gonna let that go for 2 minutes. The last ones I let go a little longer, but we're gonna let it go for 2 minutes and then we're gonna move on. And then I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna grab one of those sticky pads and then we'll show you. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm gonna say that I trashed them because they were completely and utterly useless, but I've spent the last 20 minutes hunting for them and I can't find them anywhere in my stuff, so I am definitely going to assume I threw them out. I knew they were useless, so it's not like it's something I could use or even work with because they were like duct tape to gloves. You weren't getting your gloves off without shredding them. It was a problem. So I learned real quick that was not the way to go with that. All right. Now that we got all of those done, we are going to be moving on. We're going to put this mold to the side over here. And then, all right, so first things first. This is resin tape. There are several different versions of it. This just happens to be the one that I got. I've had it for a very long time as well. We're going to go with it. And unlike everything else, as you can see, it's sticky enough for bezels, but it's not going to hold your gloves for an hour and a half while you're trying to peel them off. It does pretty well. I don't mind it at all, but we're going to go with it. I am going to get a couple of bezels down on it, and then we're going to work with what I got. So we're going to go with a silver one this way, and then we're going to go with a heart shaped one, and then I have a long one, and then I have a teardrop. And before I do anything else with it, we are going to get them up here on this, because this goes into my thing, and I'm going to make it so this one hangs off a little bit because it has the edge that requires that. The rest of them, however, are going to be on it, and we are going to go with it. This is actually a wire bending tool. I'm just going to move it to the side for the moment. I'm going to use my polymer clay roller and just roll it over these to make sure they're stuck down well, because I don't want my resin to leak out. And then for the very first coat on all of these, I personally am going to go with a little of the high viscosity. I'm going to put it in, give me a second, a little dish, and I'm going to use a paintbrush. That's just me. I don't recommend that everybody does this. That is completely up to you. I do this because it's more manageable for me. Okay, there's that. Here's my brush for today. And when you do use brushes like this and stuff, you clean them with alcohol very well when you are finished, and it'll save your brushes. This is just to make sure I got edges that are sealed. That's all I want to do. That's where we're going to start. We're going to get these cured, and then I'll be working on the next step. Let's get them in the cure. I'm going to cure them for a minute, actually 2 minutes. I'm going to move this out the way so that it's not getting cured as well. Alrighty. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I'm so grateful I saw that people actually had some questions about some things, you know, when it comes to UV resin or resin in general and how to do certain stuff. I haven't done some of this stuff in a long time. So it's a nice refresher. For like this open bezel that I'm going to be doing, I could get that started, I suppose, while we wait. Just straighten this out as much as I can. I do have a straightener. If I need to straighten it, I will. But I'm just going to do kind of like a little teardrop with a spiral at the top. Gotta remember my hands don't work. Okay, so here we go. Okay, that spiral, that little spiral will hold your jump ring. So we're going to go with that. Okay, and that's how I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to kind of just come down with it on the large one. And we're gonna just bend it around till I get it how I want it. It's not gonna be a huge bezel. I don't want a huge bezel. And I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. So we're gonna take this side and make it a little smaller. Actually go in a little bit with that. Take this side and make it a little smaller. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it where we're done with it at, which is right here. And then we're going to take this side on the small side, the very small side of this. We're going to get all the way to the edge. And then we're going to start turning it. Right around this edge. turn it a little bit so that I can get how I need to. All right, now I need to look at it. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. And that's how that's gonna go. Now, to flatten it, all I ever do really to flatten it is just run it like this, and when that doesn't do enough, this one did, but sometimes this doesn't work enough. I could, let's see, I want something a little bigger to round it out, so we're gonna put it in my little ring thing, and then we're gonna yeah, that's how I'm gonna leave that. All right, so, and then we're gonna flatten it out just so it's flat when I go to do it. Alrighty, that explains at least how to do it. This is just a simple one for anybody who's just beginning. I don't recommend getting into stuff that's like real busy and hard, because wire wrapping is not easy. Trust me, I'm not a master. All right, so now that we've got these all set up to go with the first layer, we're gonna go with the first layer for my little snowflake one. And I think I'm gonna use this one. Do this also for 1 minute and 20 seconds. And then while we do this one, I'm going to mix the colors for the one I'm going to cut wire for. Sit a minute because I want the alcohol to come off of it. Okay, so now so you can see, we're gonna go. I know this is gonna seem crazy, but I have this little square. I don't want to make it even. I think that's pretty good. I am going to tack that down. That's all I'm going to do to it. Tack it down. I'm going to use my flashlight light. That should be enough to keep it in place. Now, the outside, I'm going to leave the white. The inside, however, of this, we're gonna put a little bit of this blue glitter and see where we land with it. Perfect. That's exactly how I want that. All right. And then I think I'm going to add, because this white out here is quite just white, for lack of better terms. I think I want to add just a teeny bit. I have a little bit of UV resin, Sluts resin. I'm going to use just a teeny tiny bit of Unicorn crushed crystal in it and just give this little white a bit of shimmer. That way it kind of goes with the theme. I'm not using a lot. You saw how much I put in there. It's just a tiny amount, and that's what we're going to go with. Just this tiny little bit. I just want enough to give it a little bit of shimmer and sparkle around the edges. And as you see, it doesn't take much, and this stuff is amazing. I love these crushed crystals. I learned this from Glitz and Glitter by Michelle. The unicorn. Or learned about it, I should say. Didn't learn it. Learned about it. Okay, we're going to go with that. And we're going to add some to the outside. Just to give it some shimmer. And that is that. I think I want just a teensy bit. All right, we're going to cure that for 1 minute and 20 seconds, and I will be right back again to doing the stuff that comes next. So, there's that in. We're going to mix this. Now that the alcohol is dissipated, I should have an idea what the color will look like, and I won't have to worry about the alcohol affecting my UV resin. Yeah, I love the color. I might have to do, no, I might have to do one more. We're going to go one more, just because I think it would be a little bit deeper a color. All right, we're going to go one more drip. We're going to let it sit again for a minute and see where that gets me. We're going to keep covering this stuff up so that we don't, ruin my stuff that I'm using. And then we're going to start building some of the other ones. Try to show you as much as I can, because people actually ask questions, and I've been seeing them lately on Facebook, and it just blows my mind. Though my YouTube, for some reason, the views have dropped drastically, and I don't understand, because yeah, nothing's changed. But clearly it's just not getting as watched as it used to. I want to know. Give me just a second. I have an idea. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with. So I didn't pull a black because I did not anticipate it being a thing. But it might be, yeah, I don't. I'm second guessing myself. I do this a lot, second guessing myself. All right, so for the sky, we're gonna hold off on that one for a minute. We're gonna finish this one, and then I will work on the next, because Lisa has a 1-track mind right now, and it's definitely like all over the place. Well, I just threw snowflakes everywhere. However, we're gonna pull my brush out. We're going to I'm going to do some of the clear. Yeah, I'm going to use the one I used the unicorn in. It's not going to hurt anything. we're just gonna put little dots on here, and then we're gonna put snowflakes in it. Grab my black pigment. I'm using the HXDZFX. Very highly pigmented, so I'm gonna have to be very careful about how much I use. What I think I'm gonna do is take one of these little things. We're going to put a little bit in here. And I might put some pink glitter in it. Actually, I am going to put some pink glitter in it. I have some really cool pink glitter that would make this fire, I think. But we'll see. We're just going to do the black up here. It's just going to be a drop. Like I said, it's very highly pigmented, and I do not want it to be over black. It will never cure, and I don't got that kind of time. So we're going to take this on here and then go in here with it and see where that gets me. We're going to go with that. I will mix it better in just a second. I just want to get the lid back on this. All right. Okay, so we're going to mix that real good. Make sure we got it. Okay. And that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave that right here for right now. All right, so give me a second. I'm going to grab that pink glitter real quick. It's called Fear. I've used it before in a video, but I love the color. And since what I'm trying to do is just add a little bit of pink to this, I'm just going to grab a little bit and put it right on in and then mix it up, because it does show through this black pretty well. Yeah, I think that's more than enough for what I want to do. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay, we're going to set that to the side. I know this video is getting long. Just bear with me. It will be worth it. Just different techniques for UV resin and glitter, and UV resin and wire, and UV resin and a lot of things. I guess people have questions, so here we go. I am going to pour this right in the bottom of this. And then we're gonna try not to ruin everything. Yep, we're gonna try to put this over here for right now. And then I am going to take my brush and I'm going to spread it out like we did with everything else. We're going to mix the color I want for my ring. It is going to be with regular Let's Resin, just the hard type, like everything else for the most part. It doesn't take very much at all to do a ring, so we're going to leave it with that. I'm also using a metallic alcohol ink for it. It is, I don't know the company name, but it's ice blue. So that's what we're going with for this one. We're going to get it in and let it sit for a minute. I did 3 drops in this one. We're going to let it sit and let the alcohol dissipate while the other is curing for a minute and 20 seconds. I love the way that looks. Can you see that in the camera? It's kind of like when you do Petri effect. It's just pretty. All right. And we're gonna mix that up real well. And I have done this color in a ring before. It was a silver ring. It came out spectacular. And my brother is still wearing it. My brother-in-law, my bestie's brother-in-law. He's like my family, so he's still wearing it. And this color is spectacular. I don't care where I got it from. It is amazing. It's just a beautiful color. All right, so now that we got that mixed, we're gonna go with, all right, let's see what we got going on here. And this is my mica powder. This is my mica powder blue for the, yeah, or no, this is the tranquil blue. Tranquil blue, tranquil blue. This is for my sky. All right, so, okay. Now that I've got this done, and as you can see, it's done. It's not hindered by the fact that I put alcohol ink in. Well, no, that one didn't. That one was something else. All right, we're gonna go with a little bit of clear. I always have this. I keep it in a little bottle to keep it on hand. And I always keep it covered. I've had it for years, as you can tell. It's quite messy. All right. And I'm going to use a little bit of that to help me stick down these hearts where I want them. And then we're going to put that in for about 60 seconds. Because at that point, I am going to start with the others. While we wait, I am going to cut wire for the others. So I've got, I think this is like 26 gauge silver. And we're going to use a little bit of it. Okay. Let's put that on top of there and that on top of there so I can have my cutters. And we're going to cut. Okay. And then we're going to go, as soon as that comes out, I will do some measuring. I might just do the one with the wire in it and show you. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just trying to show you different techniques because it's a lot of fun. I just absolutely enjoy doing this stuff. And actually, I think I'll do the sky effect in one of them. And the other one, I'll do kind of a yin-yang with this. And I say kind of a yin-yang because it won't quite be. It'll just kind of have like maybe an S shape through it to do 2 different colors. To show you that, you know, you can be all kinds of creative with resin and UV resin and making your own bezels and, you know, using metal in them and just different techniques, different things you can do. Okay, that's definitely cured long enough. Let's turn that off for now. All right, so we're gonna go with it. For this one, let's see. Let's straighten this out first of all, best I can. Yep, I think that's how I'm gonna go with that one. That's one. and that's 2. That's how we're going to do that one. This one I might do in kind of patchwork. So we're just going to cut some random shapes at random sizes. And I'm just going to make a pattern out of it the best I can. That's where we're going to leave that for right now. And I've done this before. I have stuff I could show you. But this is what we're going to go with. We're going to go with it this way. Okay, that's where we're going to leave those. Now, just for this part, because, you know, I have to put it back in there, I would normally just do the color, but since I'm on camera, I'm a little worried about trying to do that way. So, we're going to tack this down just a tad. Just a tad. Again, we're going to take this out, add just a teeny bit, just to tack it where I want it. And then I'm going to cure it with my torch for about 10 seconds because otherwise it's just going to become a problem. next step for all of these is simply a top coat, and I will be doing that with the hard type. We're going to go top coat. Now we're going to go top coat. This one I don't really want to top coat over the hearts that I've got in here. I just kind of want to do it around them. All right, and before we do this last one, I have some cute little things. I might use something. Let's see what I got. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna top coat it, and then I'm going to add a bow on that one on the outside. So we're gonna top coat it. I am not trying to dome these. I could. I'm just trying to top coat them the way I want them. And if I'm going to dome them, I would use high viscosity. I'm not gonna lie, because high viscosity is going to be what doesn't leak all over and end up all over the sides of all your hard work. There's that. And now, oh yeah, that's coming nicely. Okay, so here's this. We're gonna get her on here, and we're gonna get it started, and then we'll finish those. Okay, for this one, it's going to be a sky. So I'm going to do, showing you how to do an open UV bezel. I'm going to do just a little bit around each edge like I did with every other one. And if you want a wave pattern, you don't need cling wrap or all that stuff. Just UV tape. It'll do it. It will absolutely do it. As you can see, if you look at that, you can see the wave pattern in it, and they all have the same effect. Every one of them. Just put your stuff over it and move on. I, however, was not going for the wave effect, so we are going to move on differently. Okay, we're gonna stop that there. We are going to finish the backs of these, and then I will do what I'm going to do to the front of that one. All right, for this, I have this little teeny spot here you can see on the edge. I'm going to take a pair of cuticle cutters and clean that right off. It doesn't take no effort. It'll come right off. It'll clean up very nicely. As you can see, get off my glove. I will show you. No harm, no foul. Literally perfect. All right, so there's the back of those, all of them. And this one has to hang off the edge because otherwise it would be a problem. Oh, I got a little spot more. I just didn't notice it till just now. Okay, that's gone. All right, so here's what I'm going to do with that too. The only difference is I'm going to use my thicker because I do not want it to come over the edges in the back. I just want it to cover the back. All right, now for this one, we're going to do the sky effect. Like I said, we're going to go in it with this. And I'm going to do thin layer. And yes, I can work with either tool, but I prefer a paintbrush with UV resin when I'm doing stuff like this. All right, now I could do clouds one of two ways. I could do the white pigment and do like the smoke effect I did, or I could use clouds. And I think this time I might go white pigment because I think it might look better. But we're gonna see. We're kind of gonna paint them in and see where we land. I'm just gonna put some white on my mat and go from there. And then take a toothpick. That's where we're going to leave that one for now. Pour all those off. We're going to pull her up here. And we're going to cure her for 120 seconds. Just like she is. And then I'll show you where that goes next. All right. I love that. That's just cute. And I love that too. So I think for these two, I think I'm going to add some. So we're going to do that just like so. We're going to take a little bit of this thick UV resin, which is what I want, and put it right down on the bottom of this to hold this bow right where I want it. Put it on. That I like. And I think the top, I might put a gem on. And yes, I think that's exactly how I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to put that in there for 120 seconds and pull this out so that I can continue on with the clouds. And that is how that one's going to go. And I'll put a butterfly on that in a minute. Right now, I'm going to do the high viscosity because I don't want it to move once I put it in here. Stickers that I think might work, including one of a mushroom fairy that I kind of dig. So we're going to use, I think, her and go with a mushroom fairy. I am, because I dig it. All right, so. And now I'm going to do, and I'm going to do going to cure those for the minute and 20 seconds, and then I will show you the ring, and then we will be done, and I will finish putting the necklaces on their chains, and then show you what that all looks like, take pictures, and put this video out. All right, so for this, what I do, and I'm just going to tell you, I have a curing machine that does both sides. I take the ring out. I usually wipe it down with a little bit of alcohol on a rag. Put some alcohol, 91%, on a rag. I go around the bezel itself just to make sure it's nice and clean. Inside, all around the edges, because they machine these. So I want it clean so that I know that when I put something in it, it's going to come out the way I want it to come out. And it ain't going to have all the extra machine stuff in it. So there's that. I will put it on my ring thing. And like I said, I know this is a little more labor intense. I'll put it on my ring thing. Hold the end that's the longest for me. And then I will take my brush, in the color that I'm using, and then I'll show you in just a second, because I have to make sure that that's done so that I can pull the piece out of the middle. This is definitely a little more labor intensive, but we've got like 16 seconds. And I'll cut this part. All right, that's that. So now for this part, I will take this here and I will go in the middle, and I will usually turn and start with getting into the edges first, going down the middle, and I will do the same thing the whole way. And I usually take enough to drip and set it in and let it run a little bit, and then I go with it. And then I do the same on the other side. I try to get both sides so that it can run around all the way even. And then the same thing. As you can see, this is how I do mine, and it's worked spectacularly for years. In fact, these are what I've sold a few of, and one of which I've made in, well, I should say one. It's been many I've made and used and gave away, or, you know, believe me, they last, they work, and they hold up very well. And then I just drip around it. Like, I turn it and drip around it so that I get it all in where I want it in, and then I'll just spin it so that it actually gets even all the way around. Okay, see, now that it's got the bubble, and I don't use the thick stuff for this. There's no way to use the thick stuff for this until, you know, maybe the end. I don't know. I've never used the thick stuff on this. I don't even want to think about using the thick stuff on this because I need that run to make it work. I need it to move so that I can get the look that I'm looking for. And as you can see, this metallic blue is always beautiful in these things. But we're going to go with it. We're going to make it get where I want it, how I want it, with the look that I want it to have. And I'm going to keep spinning it and keep spinning it. And when I put it into the UV light, I'm going to keep spinning it. And that's how that goes. Okay, now I'm going to keep spinning it, keep spinning it, keep spinning it. And I will be back in 120 seconds. I know this video is a couple hours long. I will cut it down quite a bit before I put it out. Okay, so to top coat it, I do the same thing. I just get it up here, let it drip, even out, and then I will run the brush around completely. I just want an even top coat, and I don't want it thick at all. I just want enough to cover what I've just put in and make it a nice level coating. This time when I do it, I'll hold it for about the first 60 seconds and then I will let it sit, and I will do it for another 300 because I kind of shortened it the first time just a little bit. But we want to make sure this is nice and cured. The thing about UV resin on these rings is the more it's in the sun, the more hard it becomes. So, and that lasts for a while. Believe me, I didn't have to fix the first one for a mechanic who worked on heavy wheel equipment, mechanicking. I didn't have to fix the first one for 3 years. And that's only because he kind of cut into it. So, yeah, they hold up very well. The easiest way to clean up your bowls when you're done, and I'll probably find a use for these later, so I'm not going to do it right now, I'll just tell you, is to stick them under your UV light and peel it out and then tape over. It makes it very, very simple. This one is going to get a top coat on the bottom. And then, like I said, I will show you the end result of all of it and take pictures and all that stuff. See, this is how that comes out, and I absolutely made a few of them, and I absolutely love them because the way that metallic comes out is just spectacular. But that's that. We're gonna go with that, and then I'm going to put together a couple of necklaces. Alrighty guys, well I think that's gonna do it for us. I have the last one finishing curing for the back side, and then I will put the chains on that I'm gonna put on. And I will go from there. At that point, I will probably take pictures and get ready to post this video. Until then, y'all have a blessed day. Put the Bible verse up right about here. And I just want to thank everybody who's been watching me. I don't know why my views have slowed down. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know if I'm missing something with YouTube. If anybody's got any suggestions, please let me know. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.